Okay, everybody, I was waiting for the clock to tick over to 1:15, but I've noticed watching these in the past that there's just people sitting there saying nothing and looking like idiots, so that's another 30 seconds I won't look like an idiot. Welcome back to the program, and we've been gone for 2 weeks. A lot has happened in those 2 weeks. In fact, only 3 weeks ago, our guest was David Argyle. That's how much has changed in the last 3 weeks. Just going over what we've just seen before I introduce the guest. We've seen St George Illawarra. I thought they were pretty poor, actually. In the end, they only got beaten 24-16 by a depleted Sydney Roosters. But really, they were conceded a try in the first 2 minutes, and they were hardly ever in the match, I thought. And after that, if you're lucky enough to have access to the Fox coverage, Sonny Bill Williams was on, and Sonny Bill Williams talked about joining the Roosters, and he basically suggested that if he's not playing for the Wolfpack next year, he will retire. And that is a little bit topical. It's not the introduction he wanted, but I've got Ricky Wilby on the program, who is the CEO of the New York, the would-be, could-be, will-be New York franchise. Hello, Ricky. How are you?
Hi, Steve. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. So I won't. There's obviously. What's the week been like for you then? Rather than me try to ask a specific question, I understand you're limited in what you can say. So just tell the viewers and listeners what your week has been like, and I'll actually hit record in case we have no viewers to ensure we do have some listeners.
So we were approached probably 10 days ago now, just to see if we'd be interested in helping out, effectively save the Wolfpack and see what we could do. So the last week has probably been poring over spreadsheets and accounts and PDFs and more spreadsheets and running numbers and looking at potential costs and outgoings and current debts and ongoing debts, and yeah, they've been long days, and it was nice over the weekend to turn my phone off for a few days just to get some family time for my daughter's birthday. And
happy birthday to your daughter. What?
Turn the phone back on again, and had.
Where does it sit now? Like, where does as we talk?
We're in constant dialogue with the guys at the Wolfpack. There's a couple of issues that we've got that need to be resolved for us to contemplate moving forward. But once hopefully we can come to some sort of resolution on those issues, and then we can look to move forward and see what we can do.
You wouldn't have to be Einstein to figure out that debts would be one of those issues. Is that the biggest issue, debts?
No, the debts aren't the massive issue, if we're being honest. It's more existing shareholders and current shareholders and seeing where that would be and where they would lie. So that was one of them, and then obviously the position in which the Wolfpack sit in terms of Super League and the RFL and the structure itself. Yeah,
we saw a report last night by Mick Gledhill saying that Eric Perez wanted, he wanted a payout. He wanted, not a payout, but he wanted to collect his dividend, which as a shareholder is entitled to call in. Are they the sort of problems that you sort of have to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, how much is a share worth, I suppose, is the big thing. And that's where negotiations have to take place, and people need to be understanding from both points of view. Obviously, Eric put a lot of work into the Wolfpack, in creating the Wolfpack in the first place, and the first year of operation. So Eric quite rightly feels like it's his baby and feels like it's his right to get some sort of dividends.
Yeah. Now you've gone from maybe playing some exhibition games next year. Am I right that you're now in a position where you might be in Super League next year? In the space of, like, is that a possibility or not?
I mean, potentially, yeah. If we were doing anything, we'd run the team in Toronto next year anyway.
Right.
And the conversations all the way through have been about keeping the team in Toronto. It's not been about moving the team to New York. It's always been about keeping the team in Toronto, and then the New York team occurs and comes in organically, like it was planned to do so.
Right. I'm sure the game has built up a lot of great following in Toronto, as you've become aware, and a lot of the fans there are very concerned that they're going to lose their team. So there's no talk of relocating the team to New York. New York and Toronto would exist concurrently in some future season. Is that the idea, or?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, and those are the numbers we've been running to make sure that there's sufficient funding for both teams, to make sure that both teams can cooperate and run at the same time. We're really appreciative of the work that's gone on over the last 4 years of operation, but then the subsequent years that Eric has put into the business, and that deserves recognition. That deserves to have a team there in Toronto. I mean, you've been, I've been. It's a fantastic match day experience. It's something that's, unless you've experienced it, you never really get it. You never really get it. I didn't get it until I went. I always thought, oh yeah, it's just a beer festival, but it's not. It's a great day. It's not just a great event. It's a great day, and they run that event really well.
Mate, how would you deal with the sort of outstanding bills? Like, or how would theoretically someone in your situation deal with the outstanding bills? How does it work itself out?
Yeah, so obviously we've got an investment team that would look to put the money in initially and put the money up front. Players need paying, staff need paying. I think they're the priorities over anything else. And then it's a case of sitting down with some of the guys who are already there at the club and working out either which debts need paying, which debts need working out and payment plans sorting out, which ones are immediate payments. We don't want to see any businesses go out of business. We don't want to see anyone go out of work. We don't want to see people losing houses and cars and whatever else. So we need to sit down and we need to discuss payment plans with everyone really, and see how that fits and how we can work with people to make things work.
Mate, it sounds like you're now nominally running two clubs. So have you had to put the New York thing to the side? And at what point do you have to return to it? Like, when do you need a resolution so that you can return to the New York project?
I mean, obviously we've not agreed to take over the Wolfpack or anything just yet anyway, so we're